So as we look at Killian Hayes' on-ball defense, I want to start with a possession that really highlights why you can't always trust the metrics. But first here, look at his communication. I love his communication, calling out the switch early, really fights over top of the screen, which we'll talk about more in a second. Ends up having to switch, and then watch how many efforts he makes here. As Frank Jackson gets beat, he switches off, stops Cole Anthony on the drive. Coming back the other way, Josh Jackson gets beat. He steps out, stops Franz Wagner on the drive, and just does an amazing job. Just a great possession from Killian Hayes. And this is why you have to go to the film at times, because this possession ends up in a bucket for the Magic. But Killian Hayes, I'm not sure, could have played that a whole lot better. As we move into a defensive disruptor here in transition, matches up with Jokic and immediately gets his hand on the ball, aggressive, gets a swipe at it, gets a turnover, and goes the other way. There's obviously pros and cons that come with this. There is the pro, as he's just active, always engaged, and he just has this mentality of on the ball of I'm going to make you uncomfortable. Even here in Jokic, against Jokic in the post, you're going to see he's going to hold his ground here. Obviously, the help stops to come, but he just gets an active hand in there and again forces a turnover and transition the other way, gets a foul call there on Austin Rivers. So you can just see how disruptive he can be. I love this here too. He sees the switch early coming here off the handoff, so he switches out hard. Terrence Ross isn't able just to catch and shoot it or be comfortable, and then he's immediately going to get up in him. Now, I don't love his body positioning right now as he's giving up a drive, but the pressure forces Ross to travel and causes another turnover, again, creating extra offensive possessions for the Pistons. Again, there can be some negatives with that, with foul trouble, giving up some buckets, but in general, I just love the mentality. Now, let's really look at him in ball screen situations. So I love this here. He jumps underneath on Morris, but what he doesn't do on this one is he doesn't hug back up coming for the rescreen right there. And so you see there was room for him to get through, but he's not able to do it. What I do like is he continues to play, tries to get back and contest even though Morris is able to make it. So this is an area where he can improve a little bit on ball. We'll see it again here on Campazzo. Okay, gets underneath, cuts him off. Right here, that he has the chance to hug up and get over top of the rescreen. He doesn't, and really gets hung up on the screen by Jokic, isn't able to get over the top, ends up in a bucket for him. So again, that's just an area for improvement where he gets hung up on those ball screens just a little bit. Again here, I love this. You always see him communicating. He's telling Cade, hey, we're not switching this one, get through, and he gives him room to get through on that one. And we're going to see again here in the ball screen, he gets underneath it the first time, but this time gets hung up on Cousins. So now it forces a switch, and this goes a little bit off ball, but I love this, and I'll highlight it more in that breakdown. He's physical with Cousins, he fronts him, and then watch what happens when the shot goes up. He's going to box him out and not let him get to the offensive boards. Love that there from Killian Hayes. Here's an example where he does it really well. So he got under it initially. You see Jokic comes for the rescreen, gets really low, so Killian jumps on top of it. This time he gets that leg over the top of Jokic, which forces Morris to want to refuse the screen, and then Killian's good enough to stay in front, contest that mid-range jumper, and force the miss. That's what you want to see more from Killian Hayes, getting that leg over the top of the screen. And then just truly guarding the ball kind of in isolation situations. In transition, it's a tough spot to be in, guys. We know this, and I just wanted to highlight that he's not quite as good in these. Okay, he gets his feet stuck just a little bit, and then Cole Anthony is able to beat him to the rim and draw the foul. But just in true half-court situations, here in isolation from the corner, does a great job staying in front and then able to use his length to contest that shot and force the miss from Cole Anthony. Really nice job from Killian Hayes there. And then he can do it on smaller guys or bigger guys. So here against Campazzo, okay, Campazzo refuses the screen, gets beat a little bit, but he stays with it, and I love his effort to always stay with it. And there you see his hand up and gets a block. And then he does against the bigger guy, Franz Wagner here, as he attacks him, stays in front, and is able to contest the bigger guy and get a block shot there and get transition going the other way. So you see Killian Hayes on ball being able to do a lot of really good things, some areas for improvement, but overall you have to like what you see.